You are listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here, as always. And I'm doing a solo episode after what feels like it's been forever. I'd kind of taken a step back from podcasting just because I was homeschooling last year. That took a lot of my creative energy, and I just kind of needed a break after 6 solid years of releasing multiple episodes a week. But I'm feeling rested and reinvigorated and back wanting to serve you, the listener. And so, of course, what better way than to dive into the topic of stress, but not just in the typical, just meditate, even though you all know I love meditation. But I wanted to go deeper. What's really happening in our bodies when we're stressed? And what does the latest science say about how we can actually shift out of fight or flight and into a state where we feel like ourselves again, that baseline that we're all craving? And actually in June, I was out. We had just gotten back from France, which was amazing, but I had come down with some kind of virus. And then I got hit with COVID. So literally all of June, I was pretty much out. Feeling terrible and just not well, not like myself at all. And I think it was just a combination of, travel, stress, and then just, getting hit with something. But through diet and meditation and just bringing my nervous system back into balance, I finally feel like myself again. And when you don't feel like yourself, it can be really scary, especially when you're the mom, when you're kind of like holding everything together, or at least it feels that way. And I think a lot of us are holding it all together on the outside, and on the inside we can feel stretched and like we're running on fumes. So I wanted to explore the real tools backed by research that can help you feel calmer, more present, and more resilient starting today. So the first section I want to get into is the physiology of stress. And let's start with a quick refresher. What is stress physiologically? So when you're stressed, your body activates the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or HPA axis. It's this brilliant survival mechanism that floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline, prepping you to fight or flee. In short doses, super helpful. Chronic doses, not so much. Recent studies, including a 2025 review in Frontiers in Neuroendocrinology, show that chronic HPA activation leads to inflammation, anxiety, poor memory, hormonal imbalance, and immune dysfunction. Basically, your entire operating system gets glitchy. So, what do? Let's talk real strategies that work with your biology, not against it. Here's something fascinating. A 2024 study out of Stanford showed that cyclical sighing, which is a long inhale followed by a longer, slower exhale, was more effective than meditation at reducing daily stress. So let's do it together now. This is a hands-on podcast episode. Inhale through your nose. I'll sip in just a little more air at the top. And then slowly exhale through your mouth. Let's do it one more time together. Inhale through your nose deeply. And one more sip. And hold. And let it all go. Okay, we just did that twice. Now, 5 of those shifts your vagus nerve into parasympathetic. That's that rest and digest mode. That's that balance that we're all seeking. It's your off switch, and it's free. You can do this in the school pickup line. You can do this in the bathroom. You can do this at a red light, and it works. It actually really works. Okay, so you don't need to hike in the Himalayas to get that rest and digest thing going either. A 2025 meta-analysis in Nature Mental Health confirmed that just 20 minutes in a natural setting significantly lowers salivary cortisol and improves heart rate variability. So take your morning coffee outside, walk barefoot in the grass. Grounding is an amazing way to balance your stress levels. I do it almost every day. And even a tree-lined neighborhood or park can count towards this benefit. Your nervous system knows the difference between a Target parking lot and an oak tree. So getting into nature, the Japanese called it tree bathing, absolutely resets and lowers your heart rate. Okay, so the next topic of discussion is magnesium and the stress connection. So we're talking about micronutrients, those little trace minerals that we all need to feel our best. So according to a 2025 clinical trial published in Nutrients, women supplementing with magnesium glycinate, not magnesium citrate, that's going to make you go to the bathroom, for 6 weeks showed significant improvements in anxiety, sleep quality, and cortisol balance. So why is this? Well, magnesium is depleted during chronic stress, and most women, especially moms, are running low. So consider a high-quality magnesium supplement. I get mine from Costco. Ideally taken before bed because it is going to make you a little sleepy to support your nervous system while you sleep. And of course, always check with your practitioner, but this is a very low-risk, high-reward place to start. Okay, so the next section I want to get into is social regulation and why we heal so much better when we feel connected. And that's is something that probably doesn't get talked about enough. We're not meant to regulate alone. I think a lot of people have been through traumatic childhoods, feel like they need to remove themselves and isolate in order to heal because connecting with others, showing vulnerability is a dangerous thing. That's definitely something that I lean to. I just have always done that. But the science says that you should not be doing that. So Dr. Stephen Porges, who developed polyvagal theory, reminds us that co-regulation, calming with another safe person, is biologically wired into us. That could be a friend, a therapist, or even a pet. Yay! So don't underestimate the power of being seen, heard, and held, even virtually. If you've been isolating, I'm sorry about that. Consider this your nudge to text someone you trust and make a date to connect, even for 10 minutes. The rewards are massive, and you don't have to do this alone, and we were never meant to. Okay, so hopefully this quick little episode has been super helpful for getting you back on track if you've been feeling stretched thin. And just remember that stress is not something that you should power through. It's a signal. It's a request from your body to return to balance. Your body is screaming at you, so listen, and you will definitely benefit from these tools. Okay, so just to recap, here are the tools that we went over today that will actually help manage your stress. So cyclical sighing breathwork, that's that deep breath in through your nose. Hold and release. Do that at least 5 times and you will reset your vagus nerve and feel so much better. Spending at least 20 minutes out in nature, and you can walk around your block and it's going to have wonderful benefits unless you're walking through a construction zone or something like that. But just getting around nature, your body recognizes it and craves it. Magnesium support, remember, that's magnesium glycinate, not citrate, unless you are backed up and need a little help in that area as well. And lastly, probably the hardest for me, but one of the most important, is safe, attuned connection. So again, with a friend, a trusted friend, someone you feel safe with, a therapist, or even a pet will be beneficial. So, if it feels overwhelming to you, just go for a walk or just do some breath work and keep it simple. And then you build on it from there. And above all, just remember this, you are not broken. Stress is probably more normal than not having stress these days. So you are beautifully adaptive. Your body is insanely intelligent and wants the best for you, which is why it's signaling for you to get back to normal, to balance. And every time that you choose presence over panic, every time you use one of these tools, you're changing the pattern for yourself and for your children, because as we all know, they're watching every single thing you're doing. So if they see you sighing in the corner, but then you come back into the room and you feel so much better, hey, maybe they'll use that tool next time that they're feeling a little pressed and a little stressed. So thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It's so good to be back. I'm going to try to get more regular with these episodes because I do truly love serving you. I do love putting this information out there. I feel like it's something that would help my younger self, and hopefully, it's helped you today. So if it did, please share this episode with a friend or leave us a review. and just help more moms find this message. And heck, not even moms, just everybody, because, we're all dealing with stress in this day and age. So until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and remember, you are not alone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, bye-bye.